F1, so just functions. Now the maths involved in this is very straightforward and something you've been doing all the way along from junior cert. So I'm going to do one simple example, and then we're going to take the relevant question from the 2019 paper to see, why it looks more difficult than it is. But you have to remember that what I'm doing here in the first example is all you need to know about functions, okay, with regard to these calculations. So let's take the function f of x equals x squared minus 6x plus 8. Okay, now I do two questions. Okay, first thing I'm going to say is find f of 4. And second one I'm going to say is find two values of x. If f of x equals 0. Okay, so very much junior cert standard stuff, but this is the maths you need to understand for this section F1. Okay, no more. Okay, so find f of 4. So you have your function f of x equals x squared minus 6x plus 8. And instead of x, you're putting in 4 into the box. So you write it as f of 4, and everywhere there's x, you put in 4. And you end up with 16, 8, 24 minus 24 is 0. And as it turns out here, you end up with 4, 0. That's it. Sorry, the f of 4 is 0. Okay, I've given you the coordinates. Okay, so you weren't asked for that, you were asked for f of 4. Part 2. Okay, two values of f of x equal to 0. So we know that f of x is x squared minus 6x plus 8. And we're told that f of x is 0. So basically, x squared minus 6x plus 8 equals 0 over here, if you like, or we generally write it over here. Okay. Now, it's quite simply quadratic, isn't it? Okay, so you solve the quadratic in any way, and this is where people get caught in functions. This is now algebra. You have the functions done. This is a bit of algebra, and people get caught because they don't know their algebra. But we'll know our algebra when we go through it. Okay, I think we're all hopefully pretty clear on that one. Okay, you could always use a minus b formula, but that would be a bit ugly, and you get x equals 2 and x equal to 4 as your two answers. So that's it. That's what you need to be able to do at the moment for functions. If you're given the x value, find the y value for the f of x value, and if you're given the result, the range or the final value, okay, you have to go back and find the x value. And that's it. So let's take a look at how it looks in an example first of the 2019 paper. All right, so 2019 paper is question A, parts A and B. Okay, so let's look at part A here first of all. Okay. So so you have a function. Now look at the function. Okay, so it's RT. Okay, so instead of f of x, it's RT. And then you have your function. So it looks a bit more difficult, but it's the same thing. Okay, it's RT, and you have a value of t here. T is the number of weeks measured from the beginning of July, and pi over 26t is in radians. So you have to remember, in your calculator, you change to radians. So find the approximate revenue produced 20 weeks after the beginning of July. So t is equal to 20. Okay, we have our function. I'm going to write it out in full because that's what I would do. Okay. And we're going to fill in, instead of t, we're going to get r of 20. So we get 22,500 times the cosine of pi over 26 times 20 plus 37,500. And then you just put this into your calculator, making sure that it is in radians. Okay, and you come up with an answer of 20,659 to the nearest euro. That's it. It's no different to the one we did earlier. Instead of t, we filled in our value for t, and then we banged it into the calculator, making sure we were in radians. Second part, and this is where people get caught. This is where people think functions are more difficult than they are. In this question, the early part is functions, and then you have to be able to do trigonometry to finish it off. Okay, so let's see how we start to find the two values we're interested in of the time t within the first 52 weeks when the revenue is approximately 26,250 euro. Okay, 26,250 euro. So we write down our RT. We're looking for RT. Okay, equals, so this is our formula again, our function. And this time we're looking for a result, the revenue. So the revenue is RT, is 26,250. So we're going to put in that over here. Equals 22,500 cosine of pi over 26t plus 37,500. Okay. Right. Okay, so we do our rearrange. Okay, so the functions is done now. That's the function bit done. What's left now is rearranging, getting the t term on its own. And if you do that, you get cosine pi over 26t equals minus a half. Okay, and you are now down to, this is now a trigonometry question. Okay, and it is unit circle. Okay, so the way we'll be doing this now is when you have them all available to you. If you're not sure of this, you go to your trig section. Okay, the standard we're doing next week, and you find unit circle questions. Okay, but in this case we'll just run through it. Okay, so and you will remember how some of this, but we will go through it in more detail later. Okay, so remember it's your unit circle ASTC. Cosine of the angle is minus a half. Okay, so we're interested in the two quadrants where C is negative, so it'll be these two. And we start with the reference angle. So cosine of the reference angle is a half. Okay, and when we do that, we get R equals 1/3. Okay, we then look for the two quadrants. Okay, so the first quadrant you want, okay, sorry, 1/3 pi. R is 1/3 pi. Okay, so this is 1/3 pi here in that quadrant, and in the other one we're down in this quadrant, and the angle it makes with the x-axis is 1/3 pi. We want this angle, so R is equal to 2/3 pi. Or we want this angle, pi plus pi over 3, so R is equal to 4/3 pi. Okay. Okay, so we have pi over 26 times t equals 2/3 pi, or pi over 26t equals 4/3 pi. So over here the pi's cancel, and we get t is equal to 52/3. And here again the pi's cancel, and we get t is equal to 104/3. And t is measured in weeks. So we put in our unit, which is weeks, and there we have it. Okay, so should really have written those as pi over 26/t, pi over 26t. Alright, but the important thing to remember here is that for what we've done today, okay, functions, straightforward. We've got to here, straightforward. The rest of this is all trigonometry, which we'll come back to. Okay, but the function bit shouldn't be causing you a problem.